Hey, what's up? It's Grandmaster Gemini, and I'm here to continue my fertility series that I have. This is the midsection, and this video is going to be a lot more on inducing fertility. So, pay attention. Give me 1 second. I like to try to do my video straight off the top because video editing gives me too much anxiety. So, I'll start off with inducing. Number one of the things that I want to say about fertility control that I've been talking about before is this video is strictly on, how to bring about fertility, bring about conception, bring about healthy pregnancy. The next one that I'm going to drop on is going to be about canceling it, blocking it off, and to keep a certain kind of energetic field that negates and to cancel out pregnancy, conception, fertility, anything like that. So, but this first one, it's technically the second one, but the second video is going to be more about how to go about that. Now, we're going to talk about the first step. The first step, naturally, on a spiritual level, would be what? Right. It would be spirit guides, ancestors, etc. Tapping into the force of the spirit is typically how you're going to go about this. Now, in almost every type of area, apparently I got a cold, but apparently in almost every single area of spirituality, metaphysics, or parapsychology, there's always an area or there's always a place where somebody was working on fertility. There was always a particular set. Planetary wise, as a cosmic practitioner, we know that the moon is a primal source of fertility archetype. What else? We got Archangel Gabriel. If you work with angels, he works with them. The women know him as Archangel Gabriella because he can actually come in the form of a woman as well. But that angel also is a special. He specializes in pregnancy energy and conceptual energy. We got Venus, Oshun. We have Bast. I can keep going. There's a list of fertility specialists that are gods or spirits, goddesses, planets, even Mother Earth have the ability to induce and to bring about a healthy conception. So that's your first step, honestly. No matter what you do, you want a spirit guide. Whether it's your spirit guides and ancestors on the natural, which is something that everybody should have, or it should be fertility specialists that are already specialized in it. It's like how I work with Archangel Azrael. I work with Archangel Azrael because I work closer with the dead and helping them cross over. So you really want to work with the type of spirit, deity, or spiritual force that specializes in that area. You feel me? You want to work with, Isis, Goddess Hathor, Istar, Freya. It's a lot of different spirits. It's a lot of different people. Osiris, even though he was a god of death. Artemis. It's so many spirits, so many forces out there that specializes in opening up and activating and healing the fertility gate of a person's soul. So that's the first step. Naturally, that's one of the biggest steps because they'll typically guide you to wherever you need to go or whatever you need to do to induce that. The second thing I want to say is going to be about maybe your energetic field. If you're a person that's wanting to get pregnant, I also want to say consistency. Just about two things: your guides and consistency. People who work with fertility magic, they are under some false assumption that we're only supposed to use fertility for just that one situation that we need, then we go about our day. No, I very much just believe that. I feel like fertility has to be something that's worked on. If you have a goal to not have children, you need to continue working on fertility work. If you have a goal to have children, you need to continue working on fertility control until you get the amount of children that you desire. You feel me? So consistency would be my next one, my next subject of hand, because like I said, a lot of women are coming to spiritual workers and they're not being consistent. They're wanting something big and they're not staying consistent enough to work with spiritual workers enough or other, workers to ensure that they get what they need. A lot of people are being, very impatient about such a big thing to be impatient about. And while we can understand your passion and interest in the subject, it takes more work than that. So yeah, consistency is a big thing, you know. There are some ritualistic spiritualists who are out there who does do very big ritualistic work that'll probably give you a one big hit and can possibly do what's needed. And there's some people who have a more of a pace in doing it. So many different ways to induce fertility, and there's so many reasons why fertility situation could or can't work. So consistency is a big thing. If you are a practitioner and you are trying to, open yourself up to mastering fertility, you need to be more consistent with this work. Don't just do it a couple of times and go on about your life. I will tell you now, it will help. Knowing how to either cut it on, cut it off, to understand why a person isn't working away, understand why you aren't working. It's a very effective thing to continue working with fertility so you master it. Because you'll always come across somebody else that's having that issue, and it'll be a lot easier to help when you've done it yourself on a consistent basis. Bed rituals, right? One of my most basic things that I always implore with people that I discuss this type of subject is basic rituals. Now, the first and only bed ritual that I'm gonna drop here, but I'm pretty sure I have a couple more, is pretty much crystal grids. That's the basics. You can do that solo. Crystal grids is actually the third thing I'm gonna drop on here. The third thing I'm gonna drop on here about fertility series, which I'm probably gonna bring to the next video too. Crystal grid. Okay, we all having sex, and you put a couple of crystals around your bed, and you set that intention. That also is another big thing. Sometimes you're gonna be by yourself and you're gonna be meditating, and you're gonna need that crystal grid. That crystal grid can really reinforce what you need, your intent, what you desire. It can really bring it forth. Especially depending on the crystals, it can access different type of energy. Like if you have clear quartz, that's perfect for the moon's energy. For accessing the moon's energy and bringing it forth. Or another person's energy, however way you want to program it. But programming those crystals and setting them around your bed is a perfect basic ritual that you can use to induce and to provide yourself with extra fertility for the purpose of healthy physical birth. These things also, my fourth thing I think I want to talk about is blessings. After, say, once you do conceive or once you do get your lover to conceive as a bonus, I always recommend that you continue blessing the person as they go through their pregnancy. It's not always mandatory or whatever, but magic is magic. Everything is magic. And if you can help elevate someone before they even come here, before they even reincarnate, while they're in the womb, by helping out their mom, you could possibly not only clear a lot of ancestral trauma in that life, in their life, in ancestry, but you can also really bring out the best in a person before they're even born. So it's a very beautiful thing. So blessings is a very beautiful thing. I really implore a lot of spiritual healers to try to bless people who are pregnant along the way, because you don't know what type of negative energy, entities, or debt that has to be paid that they're not even ready for. So I think I pretty much covered a lot of it, but just to give you a quick overview on a couple of small notes that I wanted to discuss about this subject. There is multiple reasons why people can't have children, but when it comes down to it, coming from the Gemini perspective, I see it as, once I can deduce that, hey, a person has a healthy physical body, and there's pretty much no reason why a person can't have a child. To me, that's how you know it's a spiritual issue. You gotta take it to the astral realm. Taking it to the astral realm is a very doable thing. Some things are very much suffer. Some things come from past life traumas, past life depths. Some things come from an astral mistake. That sounds funny, but maybe your parents' ancestral energy wasn't ready. Maybe your parents' astral energy banned it. Maybe you even put it in your Akashic records for some reason. Maybe you had a karmic scale or karmic situation, and this was the punishment. Maybe you was hexed in one of your past lives, and it just came back up to this one. It's so many reasons why people can't come to terms, and it's because a bigger spiritual issue blocked all the other reasons. that it could be. So, Shay, you could have been doing something in the present life or something like that, and it could have fucked up your spiritual fertility energy, and your spiritual fertility energy was like, nah, you ain't getting nothing physical, and completely blocked out what it could have been and what it could have been. Um, it could have been some lost energy link from your ancestral realm to your particular energy set yourself, so that the ability to pass on children may have gotten missed. And hey, it sounds crazy, but it's so much stuff that can happen. Spirits, ancestrals. It's so much like celestial, starseed. It's many things, but the biggest thing is to think positive, especially when you know that your body is physical enough to handle it. Getting a spiritual blessing to induce something like fertility control is very much doable. A lot of people are very concerned about fertility work being a big thing, and when you're working on somebody, or when you're being consistent with fertility energy, then you'll come out on top. You'll definitely come on top. Um, Let me think of some things. I want to make sure I get a couple of things off before I make it to this next video. Um, Damn, I think that's about it. Yep. Inducing fertility is also pay attention to your chakras. I'm gonna hit that every video. Your chakras are definitely linked to all your bodies and your energetic field. You can definitely start working on your energetic field and your chakras, then start coming in with the crystals, and you working with your spirit guides, and you let them guide you, let them cover you in fertility, positivity, and inducing fertility conception. You can't lose. You can't lose. You gonna put down that birth control quick. You gonna put down them condoms quick. Once you find out that you can do it, it'll be a thing. Anyway, let me leave y'all alone. This is Gemini Investigations, and y'all know how to hit y'all with the truth. Thank you.